You may have a boss or have had a boss who tried, I'll just be blunt, ripping off your paycheck or not paying you on time, not paying you what you're owed for the work that you put in. That's not uncommon. It's highly unethical, rather immoral, and frankly, can be illegal depending on your pay structure. Paying on time, it's not illegal if they miss by a couple days, because that sometimes can happen if the payroll person maybe is sick or there's a bank holiday and you're on direct deposit. And excuse me, these are not scripted and these are not edited videos, so you get all this personal stuff. But that's because we're all humans, right? It adds some flavor maybe to the video, but let's go back to the direct deposit thing. So maybe it's a bank holiday and you have direct deposit and it may take another day or over a weekend maybe for your deposit to hit. Those things can happen, okay. But when it comes to the employer just not paying you appropriately, that's a problem. And I'll just tell you anecdotally, many, many years ago, now 30 years ago, because I'm getting old, you see, so it was a long time ago in a land far, far away. I did have an employer who had roughly 70 employees, and nearly every employee had their paycheck shorted, 10, 20 bucks. Every paycheck. And these folks were paid weekly at that time. Nowadays, most folks are paid every 2 weeks. Back then, it was every week, except for the store managers, of which I was one, in which case I was paid every 2 weeks. But I had employees coming to me saying, my check is short by 10 bucks, by 20 bucks. And the owner, he had several Goodyear franchise stores in Southern California at the time. And sure enough, every check, including my own. And I was the most vocal of these store managers, constantly calling the owner saying, what's going on here? Why? There's always some excuse. Well, Madeline was the gal's name. She made another mistake. And no, he's just ripping people off. So I got to a point where I did eventually leave, went to another independent company, and some folks followed me to where I went to work, and then I left the industry altogether. But the point is, some employers will do that. And if it is, in his case, 70 employees, and if it's every week and it's $10 per employee, that's $700 per week that he is saving. Across a year, 700 times 50 weeks is $35,000 per year. In 10 years, that's $350,000. So you see how it adds up. Well, it's grossly unethical. And frankly, as a labor board violation, you can certainly take that to the labor board, fair wage and hour practice types of laws and those kinds of things. So what we've done in our company, and this will help you if you're an employer, if you're a small business. Now we nail it very, very well every single time. We have a really great system that makes sure that the payroll is correct, because our payroll is a commission-based payroll, and it's accurate to a T. But a number of years ago, 10, 11 years ago, when we were first starting this kind of program, we had some flaws in it. And one of the earlier paychecks with my employees was off a little bit. It was our fault, but it wasn't intentional. And the employee brought it to my attention, and I said, tell you what, here's the deal. Please check your paycheck against your numbers every week. Make sure it's correct. And if it is ever off, I will give you $20 as a penalty, as a self-imposed penalty on ourselves for making the error. Now, here's why I did that. It made my payroll person much more aware to be correct, okay? Because that payroll person was my wife. Just be real here. She and I talked about this. But also gave my employees great confidence that I was not trying to rip them off, because indeed I was not. Never have I ever tried. Never, not once have I ever tried to do that, because it is so wrong. It's theft. It's just bad on so many levels. But it gave them great confidence to know that, you know what, human errors do happen. And I work for an employer who's going to take care of us. If they make a mistake, they're paying for it. they're going to do their very best to make it right. And we had to do that maybe 3 times during that 2 years that we were in Southern California with our business, and we sold the business and moved to Alaska, being our kids and grandkids. We've never had it happen since. But that just, it put us on the ball more to make sure that we were correct. And of course, it's been wonderful. But the idea is, if you are an employer, have something in place like that. Give your employees confidence that you're not doing it on purpose. And let them know, look, please double check it. We're humans, and our computers are in, junk out, right? Junk input, junk output. Garbage in, garbage out. You've heard that before. We'll do our very best to make sure it's accurate. If it's off, please bring it to us. It's never on purpose. You don't have to offer $20 if you're wrong. We did, and we only had to pay out 3 times, fortunately. But nowadays, my employees all know. Please double check us. We don't offer $20, but they have enough confidence in us. They know we're not going to try and rip them off. But that happens a lot in business. Be aware of it. Be aware of it as an employee. Now, as an employee, be aware of it. And if you do notice it, gently bring it to the boss and say something along the lines of, I noticed my check was off. Make sure it is off. So maybe your calculation could be wrong too as the employee. So double check your own numbers, whether you're hourly or what have you. But then, gently bring it to the boss, not in a railing, accusatory kind of a way, like you're trying to rip me off. And bring it to the boss in a professional way. Say, I looked at my paycheck. It just seemed kind of odd, so I just double checked things, and we're off by $50 this week. I know it's not on purpose, but just want to let you know it. And can that be? And if you could double check me, Mr. Employer. Maybe I'm off, but that's the number I came up with. Could you double check this? And if so, if I am correct, can that be caught up on next week's paycheck? Or if I am not correct, I will apologize. But help me understand how this is calculated if in fact I'm doing it wrong. Right? There's a way of doing it. Something to be aware of, and hopefully this gives you some benefit. If you have experienced this in the past in your own career as an employee, share that in the comments down below. What was the result of it? Did you approach your employer with it? Or did they have a policy or some practice, I guess, in place that penalized themselves if they made an error? What has been your experience that way? If you're an employer, have you had employees come to you, or did you have situations where maybe you made errors in payroll and they were unintentional, but you were able to fix it? And did you put some system in place, some program in place that double checks things? If you did, share that in the comments below, because the comments benefit our viewers who see your comments and glean some ideas from your input. So it's not all just me talking to you. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video.